The Galactic Council's embassy on Earth hummed with the usual diplomatic chaos. Translators arguing over verb conjugations, security drones scanning for contraband, and somewhere in the back offices, someone was definitely photocopying their tentacles again. Wayne had seen it all in his 3 years running the small salon tucked into the embassy's commercial wing. Humans weren't supposed to be here. Not really. Earth was the newest member of the Galactic Council, barely a decade into first contact, and most species still looked at humanity like curious children who'd wandered into a university lecture. But Wayne had carved out his niche: hair, fur, feathers, scales. If it grew from a sentient being's head, he could work with it. "Mr. Wayne?" The voice was soft, musical, and tinged with pain. He looked up from sterilizing his shears to find a young Valenian standing in his doorway. She couldn't have been more than 17 in human years, her skin shimmering with the characteristic opalescent scales of her people. But something was wrong. Her head tendrils, the elegant bioluminescent appendages that Valenians were famous for, hung limp and dull against her shoulders. Dark circles shadowed her large amber eyes. "Please," she said. "My name is Diana. My father is Ambassador Krelvoth. I need help." Wayne gestured to his chair. "What's going on?" Diana moved slowly, as if every step hurt. When she sat, he noticed her hands trembling. "For 2 years, I've had these headaches. Every day. Sometimes so bad I can't leave my quarters. Our physicians can't find anything wrong. They say it's psychological, that I'm not adapting well to Earth." She looked up at him, and Wayne saw something he'd seen too many times in his old career before he'd become a stylist: quiet desperation. He'd been a medic in the Unification Wars, back when humanity was still figuring out how to not kill itself. He recognized suffering. "May I?" He gestured toward her head tendrils. Diana nodded. Wayne's hands were gentle as he examined the tendrils. They were cooler than they should be, the bioluminescence that should pulse with her heartbeat, barely flickering. He worked his way through each one, his fingers trained from years of working with thousands of species' unique biological features. Then he felt it. "Diana, when did you last see a groomer? Someone who specializes in Valenian tendril care?" "Before we came to Earth. My father's posting was supposed to be temporary, but it's been extended twice. Why?" Wayne pulled his magnification visor down and peered closer at the base of her primary tendril. There, wrapped so tightly it had nearly disappeared into the scaled flesh. "Don't move," he said quietly. He grabbed his finest scissors, the ones he used for delicate work, and a pair of tweezers. What he'd found wasn't natural. It was a growth ring, something Valenians developed naturally as they matured, but this one hadn't shed properly. Instead, it had remained attached, constricting like a too-tight rubber band around the tendril's base. Over 2 years, it had slowly cut off circulation, pressed on nerve clusters, and caused chronic inflammation. No wonder she was in agony. It was the equivalent of having a wire wrapped around your spine for 2 years. "This is going to feel weird," Wayne warned, "but it shouldn't hurt. Tell me if it does." He worked carefully, his hands steady from years of practice. The growth ring had embedded itself deep, and Valenian physiology was delicate. One wrong move, and he could cause permanent nerve damage. But this was what humans did. They adapted, they learned, they solved problems with whatever tools they had. The other species called it humanity's irritating persistence. Wayne called it not giving up on people who needed help. 20 minutes later, the growth ring came free. The effect was immediate. Diana gasped as color flooded back into her tendrils, the bioluminescence flaring bright blue-green. She reached up, touching them with wonder. "The pain," she whispered. It's gone." Wayne held up the growth ring. It was a delicate, translucent band, beautiful and deadly. Your physicians were looking for diseases, injuries, psychological trauma. They never thought to check for something this simple. Valinian groomers would have spotted it immediately, but Earth doesn't have any. Diana's eyes filled with tears, not of pain this time, but relief. She looked at the ring, then at Wayne, then laughed. It was a shocked, joyful sound that filled the small salon. 2 years, she said. 2 years of specialists and scans and medications, and a human hairdresser fixed it in 20 minutes with a pair of scissors. Wayne smiled. Sometimes the solution isn't complicated. Sometimes you just need someone willing to look at the problem differently. Diana stood, her tendrils now flowing around her shoulders with their natural grace, pulsing with vibrant light. She moved without pain for the first time in years, and Wayne watched her rediscover what it felt like to simply exist comfortably in her own body. "Thank you," she said. "I don't know how to repay you." "Just tell other people," Wayne said, cleaning his scissors. "Humans might be new to the council, might not have all your advanced technology or centuries of knowledge, but we're good at solving problems. We're good at not giving up, and we're really good at caring when someone's hurting." Diana nodded, then paused at the door. "My father has been arguing in the council that humans aren't ready for greater responsibility in galactic affairs, that you're too young, too inexperienced." She touched her tendrils, now glowing bright and healthy. "I think I need to have a conversation with him about what being ready really means." After she left, Wayne returned to sterilizing his tools. Through his window, he could see the stars, thousands of civilizations, millions of years of collective knowledge and experience. And yet, somehow, a human with a pair of scissors had solved a problem that had stumped them all. Maybe that was humanity's real strength, not that they were the strongest or the smartest or the most advanced, but that they refused to accept suffering as inevitable. They kept looking for solutions until they found them. Wayne smiled to himself and prepared for his next appointment. The galaxy was big, complicated, and often cruel, but wherever humans went, they brought with them a simple, stubborn truth. Every problem had a solution. You just had to care enough to find it, and that, Wayne thought, was humanity's real contribution to the stars.